Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a fun video idea that I got from, I don't remember who it was. Someone posted a video about books they love that no one else seems to care about. I'll link it down below, I'll try to find it, and so I decided to do that romance style where I have a stack of books that I absolutely love that are romances that nobody talks about. Nobody cares about them. I think some of them are a couple years old that never really got hyped up. They are books that have around less than 2,000. I think a couple have less than 3,000 ratings on Goodreads, which is really small if you think about it. Some of the books I was looking up, I was like, oh, how many people have read this? And it's like 20,000. So if a book has like 1.5K ratings on Goodreads, that's really not a big readership. And so some of these they're all-time favorites, and I'm like, how have people not read these books yet? I'm dove back into like 2018, 2019 to see books that I've loved, and I really think you guys should read them, and more people should read them. I'm talking about, I haven't really seen anyone talk about it on YouTube or Instagram, and I think Instagram is more diverse than YouTube is when it comes to romance reading, but I'm not including like authors like LJ Shen and Mariana Zapata, where they drop a book and it's literally #1 on Amazon. I'm talking about the authors that one of them released a book this past week, and I think I saw only like 10 people share about it. So these authors need more love. The first one I have for you is Furious Rush by S.C. Stevens. S.C. Stevens is most known for her Thoughtless series. This one is her sports romance, so our main character is like a motocross rider. If you love the movie Motocross on Disney Channel, you'll love this series. She is the daughter of a guy who like owns a motocross track, and he is rivals with this other guy. They used to be best friends, but something happened with his wife. We don't know what, and I believe she died, and so it's just this girl and her dad, and they have like a rival team to this other guy who was his dad's friend, and now they're like mortal enemies. And so she does ride her motorbike, and there's this guy that's hired by her dad's rival, and she realizes if they practice together she gets better because she's so determined to beat him. So they practice together secretly, and they kind of start falling for each other, but they're on rival teams. It's so good, and there's a second book too, which is really good. I think it's great sports romance where the girl is in the sport too, and it's not like your typical soccer, basketball, hockey, football romances. It's different. It's so good. You have to read it. The next one is an office romance, Enemies to Lovers, and that's Right Where I Want You by Jessica Hawkins. This was the last book I read in 2018, and I was raving about it. I did not see anybody on YouTube reading it, and just a few people on Instagram I saw reading it. And our main character is kind of like the fix-it person when it comes to businesses. So there's this men's magazine that, I think it's Sebastian's his name. He is like the lead guy, like creative thinker for the men's magazine, but they're being portrayed as very misogynistic, and they want to broaden their horizons. And so this girl comes in, and they actually met at the coffee shop and like had a very bad interaction right before she shows up at the office, and so she is there to help them, and Sebastian doesn't like to be creatively stifled by anybody and is kind of rude to her, so it's kind of enemies to lovers. It's so good if you like that office kind of aspect. Reminds me kind of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, because Matthew McConaughey's like in marketing and stuff, and like just a little bit, and she's a journalist, but they kind of intertwine those two professions in this book, and it's so good, and I loved it, and I think way more people need to read it. The next book's a series that is near and dear to my heart, and I was introduced to it from Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers, and that is The Surviving Chase by Kalia Reed. This one I cannot believe has less than 2,000 ratings on Goodreads. It's a 3-book series, and the 4th spinoff just came out this week, and that's the book I was talking about where nobody was talking about it. I don't know how it did on release day. It is a brother story, and the cover's gorgeous. It's called King of the South. I'll link it down below. I'm super excited to read that after I finish this series. I've only read the first 2, but I have book 3. This is a time-traveling romance. Our main character is engaged, and she works at a antique shop, and she finds this picture of this guy that she had a dream about last night. So she dreamed about him before seeing his picture, and it's this picture from the early 1900s, and then she ends up being transported to the early 1900s. And the interesting thing is that she is actually in the body, well, she looks like someone she replaced. So this woman is married to the guy in the picture she found, and she ends up looking exactly like her and like kind of taking her place because like that girl is not there, and I don't know if we figure out what happened to her or like how this whole thing worked. So she's basically living the life of someone in that time period who looks exactly like her, and it's really good. It's early 1900s. The guy hates her, Etienne, and they learn to love each other even though she's engaged in the present day, and other time shenanigans happen. So I would definitely recommend reading this. It's so good. and I need more people to read it. Next is from a beloved author that all you dark romance fans need to read, and that is Enthralled by Gianna Darling. This is book 1 of 2 in a duet. I have not finished book 2 yet. I was reading it and then I had to read all these other books and I never got around to finishing it, but our girl in the beginning is sold as a sex slave and she falls in love with the guy who bought her. So kind of taboo, really taboo, but it works. So she definitely doesn't know how she feels about liking the guy, because she actually was like kind of voluntarily selling herself to save her family kind of thing, and because I think it's because her dad owes like a debt or something. It's fuzzy, but so good, and I definitely recommend this if you like your dark romances. Next is from another favorite author, that's Charlie Rose. I have Misbehaved because this was my first book I read by Charlie Rose and no one was talking about it and no one still talks about it, but it does have a significant number of reviews. I want to say like 4,000 on Goodreads, so I guess other people liked it, and this is a student-teacher romance, but it's my absolute favorite. I really need to give it a reread because it's been years since I read it, but this made me fall in love with Charlie Rose, and the one I want to recommend for this video is Rewrite the Stars. Not a lot of people have read this, and it's about a girl who pretty much runs away with the circus and falls for guys who are in like a trick motorcycle show and do like death-defying stunts, and they all believe they're gonna die early, like that's their family curse. They're gonna die before the age of like 25 or something, so they all make a pact to not fall in love because they can't make a girl connected to them when they're gonna die. And so it's really good. It's kind of got that magical kind of feel to it, and it's the circus, and I loved it, and I definitely recommend reading it. The first book I have to recommend, I still don't know how only 1,000 people have read this book because I love this series so much, and book 5 is coming out this summer. That's Palm South University by Candy Steiner. The first book's now called Rush. She redid all of the covers and the names, and I need to collect those because they're gorgeous. This is a Gossip Girl meets Greek kind of book. I've definitely recommended it a lot, so you guys need to read it. And it's so good. It takes place in college, so it's new adult. It follows a bunch of different characters, all these girls who are in the same sorority, and then a bunch of different guys, whether they are, a couple of them are in the same fraternity, but some of them are not. And it's their romance, a lot of them deal with a lot of issues that a lot of college students go through. It's so good. You need to binge the entire series. I might be doing, I don't know yet, a read-along of them this summer. Let me know if that's something you're interested in because book 5 comes out this summer and I'm really excited. So if you want me to host some sort of read-along for the 4 books before book 5, let me know because I definitely want to reread all of them before it comes out. But you need to read it. And the last one I have is Stay With Me by Mila Gray. The first book in this is really well read. Come Back to Me. I love that book. It is an older brother's best friend romance and military romance. This one is a best friend from the girl, I believe, in book 1. And this one, she is studying to be a psychologist, and I think her dad works at this hospital. Wounded soldiers are in this hospital, and she falls for a wounded soldier, and he's blind, but there's no physical reason why he should be blind, so they think it might be psychological, and he is dealing with guilt over what happened. And so if you like military romances, this one is so good. I loved it so much. I was very disappointed in book 4, and I've not heard the best things about book 3 in this series, but books 1 and 2 are amazing, and you have to read it if you like that angsty, emotional military romance. And those are all books that I absolutely love, that nobody else cares about, that you all need to pick up right now, because these books need to be talked about everywhere because they're amazing and I love them, and I want you to give me some recommendations. What are some books you absolutely love that you see no one reading and you're just so angry that people need to read these books? Let me know, and maybe I will do a video about the ones you recommend. So that's an idea, so leave me your recommendations down below. And that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.